Alright, hello. Welcome to the entertainment portion of our podcast. I'm Nick.
I'm Kendall.
I'm Caroline.
Alright, so to move on from our initial podcast informing the listeners about the dangers of digital vigilantism and public shaming, we're going to lighten up the mood a little bit with some funnier stories. So the first one is the time Caroline's professor low-key wrote a New York Times article about her skipping class. Professor Howard Axelrod, a professor at Loyola University Chicago, wrote a charming essay in the New York Times opinion section detailing the exciting and new energy that was present on Loyola's campus. This was in the time when March Madness was going on. Loyola was making it to the Final Four. It was a really exciting time. However, he also roasted a few students that ditched his class to watch the Ramblers game. Would you care to tell us more about this, Caroline?
You know, I'd love to. It was funny. I didn't realize it until he sent it out in an email to the rest of our class, and I thought, oh God, what did he have to say about this? Because he had been very concerned about us skipping class for the game and whatnot, and I ended up not going to class, is the bottom line. And he wrote an article in the New York Times. They ended up watching the game in class, and it was just, I guess, a really inspirational moment for everyone, but I was not there, and so he threw it somewhere in his article that a couple of us, weren't present for this great experience. And it's not like he put us in by name or really had too much to say.
There were only 10 people in this class though, right?
Right. It's a 12 person class, I think, something like that. But it's just weird to be in the New York, if that's the reason that I'm in the New York Times, it's a little bit strange.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah,
because that's a big deal.
Well, we got some fan mail the other day too. An 83-year-old woman wrote us a nice letter and a nice poem, and she didn't mention those of us who were not in class.
Clearly missed the
unfortunately, point. Yeah, but we did get some fan mail. It's just it's a strange feeling to be on the internet in that context.
Was he mad in the next class period after that? That you guys didn't go?
I think he was too excited about his fan mail to really be concerned, if I'm honest.
The fame's getting to his head.
Right. He definitely noticed that we weren't there.
Okay.
But he never really asked why. I think he knew why.
What type of class was it?
It's a poetry class, writing poetry.
Oh, interesting.
7 to 9:30 on Thursday nights. So
who would go to that anyway? 7 to 9:30 on a Thursday?
The future poet that will write your obituary.
Yeah, do you want to be a poet?
I don't. I want to graduate college, so that's why I'm there. But
all right, we're not poetry shaming on this podcast, are we? This podcast is about public shaming, and we just publicly shamed poets, so we're not going to do that anymore. Did he write? I saw in the article that he was writing poems about March Madness. Is that true?
They haven't yet to be shared with us.
Okay.
But we'll see. We'll watch out for his next publication.
That's pretty funny.
I don't know.
Did you have any classes, Kendall, that people ditched for the games?
I don't remember if I went to class during March Madness.
I don't remember if I skipped.
Well, my professor, I had one marketing class that's from 2:30 to 3:45, and the first game versus Miami was at 2 something maybe.
Yeah, it was in that mid-afternoon.
Yeah, she canceled class and she was like, "Go watch it in Schreiber." Cool. I ended up thinking I was gonna watch the game, and I ended up sleeping through it. So.
I had a job interview during the first game.
I completely forgot. And then my mom was like, "Oh my God, Marcus Towns." And then I was like, "Mom, how did you know his name?"
Oh, my dad's super into it now.
Dude, my mom looked at the roster. She saved their interviews. I was on campus the other day and I saw Nick and I was talking to Lucas Williamson on the team, and I was on the phone with my mom as I see him, and he's we're friends. So he was waving to me while he was crossing Kenmore. And my mom was like, "Who are you talking to?" And I was like, "Oh, Lucas Williamson." And then I put 2 and 2 together, and she was like, "Oh my God, can I say hi?" And she just talked his ear off for 10 minutes on the phone.
Yeah, my dad sent me a ton of Loyola documentaries and interviews and stuff. It's so funny. He's really into basketball. Yeah, I spent a lot of my class periods with my notes open on one side of my laptop and the stream of the games open on the other side, because I'm a big college sports junkie. I watch all the football games. I watch, not Loyola's obviously, because we don't have one, but I watched pretty much all of March Madness throughout March in class, which was probably not the best idea in hindsight, but I got to see all the games, and I learned some things, I guess, in class. But at that point, nobody was paying attention. We talked about it even in the class that we're doing this podcast for, that it changed the entire culture of Loyola, pretty much. We're a sports school now, which is pretty fascinating.
I'm shook it.
You're shook.
That's the one reason that I transferred schools too, is because I was like, oh my God, they have sports and things to do, because I was at an art school that didn't have anything to do.
Oh, I was like, where could you possibly come from that had less sports?
Loyola.
There was no
before
sports.
March.
No sports. I didn't rush, but they had no Greek life. They their student orgs were like 15, so I was like, what do I do with my life? And then I was like, oh, they have like 100+ student orgs. They have basketball, all this stuff. So I was like, I'm going.
Nice.
I just found out that we don't have a baseball team though.
Yeah, we
No,
don't have a
we
baseball
don't have a baseball
team.
I totally would have thought we would. I just feel like we are school to have that.
Yeah, we don't really have space for baseball fields.
Coin? Where the soccer field is? That's where they play softball.
Where even is that?
Like a mile down. It's like in Evanston.
Exactly. So, is that like the same field that Northwestern's team plays at? Probably.
No, we don't like Northwestern.
Hey.
We don't like Michigan.
I like Michigan. I was very conflicted in that game.
The door is that way.
Okay. Alright, so we'll move on from that story. So, in other mildly hilarious public shaming news, apparently our other host, Kendall, was also flamed pretty publicly. She said that Oprah should be president in an interview on CNN and was roasted heavily on Twitter. Is this true?
I was 15 years old. Yeah. I like grew up with like my mom working on like the Obama campaigns and stuff. So she like wrote speeches when he was senator and like we like traveled and stuff to campaign and like so I was the youngest person on the campaign trail. So they like gave me an honorary like pass, all this stuff for like each election, but like the second re-election, they like gave me an honorary pass, but I got a media pass, so I kept getting like all these interviews. And then Breonna Keeler, who's still a White House correspondent like now, was like, I'm very interested in you and your story. I want to interview you. So like did it right after he won. So I'm like cheering and all of a sudden I get like pulled to the side and I was like, she's like, you're on. And so we like did like 2 mock interviews before it happened, but the last question was like, who would you like to see as president? Because I said Hillary Clinton before, and then my mom was like, you can't say Hillary, it's too controversial. So I was like, okay, what do I do? Because I kept saying Hillary Clinton, and then it got time, and I was like, oh hell. Like, she like asked the question, you can like see my face drop in the interview, and then I was like, Oprah. Because I couldn't think, and I just literally went, Oprah. I was like, a woman for once. And then she was like, I don't think that's gonna happen. And then she was like, then moved on to finish up the interview.
Said that?
Yeah, she was like, like.
That's weird.
And so I was like, oh my god, I just really looked stupid because I didn't even look at the camera after. Because they're like, you're not allowed to look at the camera. So like, my eyes are like facing like to the left, but I turned and like smile, but my eyes are facing the other way. So I looked like, I looked like Scooby-Doo, but like.
Why was it controversial for you to say Hillary? Because of the competition between the two? Yeah. Okay.
They were just kind of like, well.
They weren't like. Yeah.
Oh, so this wasn't the most recent election. This
no,
was
this
Obama's re-election.
Yeah, of 2012.
Because that was when him and Hillary were like opponents.
Yeah.
Right.
But like the issue, like the joke that I kept making, so she really didn't know what I was gonna say when I like got on air, but I kept saying Herman Cain from like the Rent is Too Damn High party. Or if that's not the same person, no, that's Jimmy McMillan. But I kept saying Herman Cain too, and then she was like. She didn't know what I was going to say, so I didn't know if she was going to ask me the question or not. And then, like, the question got asked.
And it aired on CNN.
Yes!
That's amazing.
My mom still makes me send it to places when I apply for jobs and stuff like that.
Can we see it when we're done with this podcast?
Yes, it's on my LinkedIn.
So
that's awesome.
What was the fallout of that then?
It was like, okay, so I remember I got Facebook. My phone died when I was at the McCormick Center because, like, it just got too much reception or whatever, so my phone died. So I like look at my phone the moment I got home. My phone like completely blew up. So it was like texting my friends or like I went on Facebook and people found my Facebook and they were like messaging me that I was like ignorant, uncultured, too young, like all this stuff. And this one man, I remember I was like verbally going back and forth with him. But then I log on to Twitter and I like Googled my name. I like looked at my name on Twitter because you can like search yourself.
Right.
And so like I'm looking at it now because some of the tweets are still there, but I looked up like Kendall Herbert CNN. There's another one because people spelled my name wrong, so they didn't get it right. But like this one says like, okay, some of them are very perverted, but one was like, OMG, Kendall Herbert can get the ding-a-ling. She's sexy AF, y'all watching CNN. And then the other one was like, this Kendall Herbert babe is just 15, what the hell? And the other one was like, breaking, Kendall Herbert, 15-year-old Obama supporter, endorses Oprah for president, live on CNN, Oprah is the future. And then I made Oprah 2016 trend, which she was about to. And then this other guy was like, I don't believe she's 15. And then somebody said I look 30. I just remember like reading these and like somehow I was like, what? And then this girl, she's a very basic girl. She's now at University of Alabama. But it says Kendall Herbert is an idiot, hashtag pro-Obama, hashtag CNN. But she spelled my name wrong, so who's the idiot here?
Wow.
It's very heated. This gives me, like, war flashbacks.
That's interesting, though, because the commentary moved from Oprah
Political.
to your age.
Right?
And no one...
People were just like, how is she 15? But I was like, I feel like the main question is, like, people are asking me, like, how I got involved in politics at, like, 15. But I feel like everybody's, like, some level of aware of, like, politics while they grow up.
Oh, you'd be surprised. The people, like, from my town have no idea about it.
Well, like, we live close to each other, so, like, I definitely know what you're talking
Where are you from
about.
again?
Grays Lake.
Oh, yeah. That's like 10 minutes from my house if
Like-
I go fast.
You, like, literally, you want to speed through these areas. It's not, like, bad, but it's just, like, a bunch of, like, uneducated people who, like, just talk. And just talk. And
Yeah,
just stupid.
that's how my
like,
town was, too. Okay, so we're going to finish off this podcast by showing another example of public shaming, this time against celebrities. So we're going to read some of our favorite mean tweets that were featured on Jimmy Kimmel's famous segment, Celebrities Read Mean Tweets. I'll start on the Larry King one. Then we'll go like mean.
Can I have Anthony Mackel? No,
yeah,
I'm
we'll just do
kidding.
it.
I don't care.
Okay, so these are some of the mean tweets. This one is about Larry King, and there's this great screenshot of Larry King looking disturbed in this one. So, did you know if you skinned Larry King and ironed out his leather, you could make enough coats to give one to every poor child in America?
Can I swear?
Yeah, we can swear.
Okay. This one says, Kirsten Dunst's teeth bother the fuck out of me. They look like a shitload of Tic Tacs throwing gang signs.
Oh, these are terrible.
They're so creative, though.
Right. I don't know how
I give
people...
them props.
I just saw at Jessica Alba. If it was 2007, I'd be really excited.
Alright,
There's the shampoo.
I'm gonna do this one. I wish Joan Rivers was still alive so she could tell Rita Ora that she dresses like a bag of dicks.
That's a creative way to describe someone's
Dang.
fashion choices.
Anthony Mackie is probably just angry that he looks like a fucking aardvark.
Oh, that reminds me of his Arthur the Aardvark. Oh my gosh. I keep forgetting Kiefer Sutherland isn't dead.
Isn't dead. Oh my god. Yeah. I mean, he's kind of a forgettable actor.
Oh boy.
Does anyone know what Blake Griffin is? Did Morgan Freeman and Carrot Top impregnate an Amazon, or what happened?
To be fair, that's
Yeah, I mean,
pretty
that's
accurate.
kinda accurate, but okay, it's still.
Melissa McCarthy is the Medea of white people.
I should have let you read this one. Barack Obama is the Nickelback of presidents.
Oh man.
That's so rude. He's like the One Direction of presidents. And he was a fan, too.
He was a fan of Nickelback or
Of
One Direction?
He loved the Jonas Brothers.
Whenever somebody tells me that I look like Andy Samberg, they're basically saying, guess how big your nose is? Very big.
I forgot about Andy Samberg.
I love him.
What is he in?
Nothing.
He's in Brooklyn Nine-Nine now.
Oh, okay, yeah. Gina Davis is a real man's man. Oh no.
Alright, this will be the last one. I hope you all had a great weekend, except you, Lisa Kudrow. Fuck you. We're gonna wrap with that one right there. Even though this episode was pretty lighthearted, we want to get to the point that public shaming and digital vigilantism can have a dark side, and they can really affect people's lives in negative ways. When people do bad things, some people initially want to go online and, like, flame them, but I think we should all take a step back sometimes and just realize that some people make mistakes, and that digital vigilantism and really shaming people on social media can sometimes have some dire consequences. Thank you for listening to our podcast. Do you guys have anything else you'd like to say?
That's a wrap.
Yeah.
All right. Signing